Okay, this is the Chapter 9, Lesson 1 video. This is talking about probability of simple events. So let's get started. Some vocab first. Any words in bold are the words that you need to fill in your notes. So first, probability is the likelihood that an event will occur. Likelihood is that key word there. It's likelihood that an event will occur. Synonym for probability is chance. An outcome is a possible result in a probability experiment. We talked about that a little bit in the Chapter 9 Lesson 0 video. An example of an outcome, if we flip a coin, the outcomes are heads and tails. Remember, if we roll a die, the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're what we could get as a possible result in a probability experiment. Complementary events are two events in which either one or the other must happen, but they cannot happen at the same time. So you either fit into the category or you do not fit into the category. So here's my example to you: students who wear glasses and students who do not wear glasses. You can fit in one or the other, but you cannot fit into both of those categories. Another example might be students whose favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate and students whose favorite ice cream flavor is not chocolate. The key word there is not. Remember, in Chapter 9, Lesson 0, we had that complement probability with the little apostrophe. I think it was the probability of not getting a 4 when we rolled a die. So that little guy there means not, and that's a key thing when it comes to complementary events. We're talking about somebody who does something, like wears glasses, and then students who do not wear glasses. That keyword is not. Okay. Last note in our vocab section: the probabilities of complementary events must add to 1. So that means one of them is guaranteed to happen, but they cannot both happen. So we'll see a couple examples of those. Okay. Let's move on. Number 1 here, the probability of randomly picking a student with brown hair from our class is 3/5. Before we move on, let's talk about that. 3/5 is the probability of picking a student who has brown hair. I'm just going to write probability of brown. Okay. So the probability of picking a student with brown hair is 3/5. That means out of 5 total students, 3 of them will have brown hair. The question is, what's the probability of picking a student without brown hair, or a student who does not have brown hair? So we're looking at this probability. What's the probability of not getting a student with brown hair? Well, let's look one more time at what our probability represents right here. Out of 5 students, 3 do have brown hair. So if we're looking at how many do not have brown hair, it's out of 5 students. How many do not have brown hair? Well, 3 have brown hair, so 5 minus 3 equals 2. That means 2 students do not have brown hair, so the probability of picking a student without brown hair is 2/5. These are called complementary events because one or the other must happen, but they cannot both happen on the same person. Remember, complementary events will always add up to 1. So we can test that. 3/5 plus 2/5. Common denominator is already there. So that gives us 3 plus 2 is 5. 5/5 equals 1. So that's the proof for our complementary events. Now the answer to our question was just this piece right here. So that's all you really need in your notes. Okay. That's it for this video. I know you have a couple more questions and a write your own, but that's enough information for you to be able to do complementary events with simple probability.